Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. You thought we were done with this, but I'm going to show you today how we're going to attach the rigging points to the Bismarck and also the crane. Now I did say I was going to do the crane and the rigging as separate videos, and today is all about the crane and the rigging points. Now, if you haven't seen my Bismarck videos, I've put the playlist up here. We've got the whole build minus the crane and the rigging. And if you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link in the video description for the Agora Models website. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But let me show you what come in stage 139. So the main things are the rigging rope, which I am going to be using this. I have bought myself some Easy Line rigging, but I know a lot of you are going to be using the actual cotton that comes with it, so I am going to attempt to do it all with the cotton that we've got here. We also have the actual crane that we built previously and the pulley that's going to go on the end, and we do have these rigging points. Now these are the rigging points that we need to attach to the Bismarck. Now these go on various places on the ship. Now because the ship isn't down here, it's in the house, I'm going to have to attach these in the house, which is something I can't really do on camera, although when it comes to actually doing the rigging, I am going to specially put a camera up there so you can see that. But in the series of pictures you can see here, they go in different locations on the deck and also on the superstructure deck. The problem is obviously that you've already installed loads of details in place already, so there's a great possibility you're going to knock something off while you put these in. I think my only gripe with this build is that these could have actually been put on while we were doing the build, and to put them on afterwards is going to be a nightmare. Now I believe there's something like 54 of these rigging points to put on. Once they're on, we don't do anything else in this stage with them, but as I said, I've showed you the pictures on the screen where they go, and it's just a case of putting them on. What I've done is basically get yourself some of these pliers and then pick them up. They've got little tabs at the bottom, drop them in glue, and then just place them where they go on the deck per the pictures. They also provide some other points for rigging, which look just like this, but these aren't used until stage 140, so keep these ones safe. What we're going to be doing is working on the crane. Now, I've done this 3 times now, and there's some things I'd like to talk about the crane. Now, as you can see, the crane goes up and it goes down, and it also revolves into the holder on the Bismarck. Now, if you want my advice, that you're not going to use this as a toy. The actual Bismarck model was never meant to be a toy, and it's going to be almost impossible, as I found, that if this is able to move, and if this section here is able to move, it's going to be pretty much impossible to get the rigging on that. So I'm actually going to glue all of this into place so it's actually in that position. I mean, I can change the position when I want. I think I might have it actually in that position, so it's a bit more upright, but I want this to be completely fixed. Now, if you don't want to do it that way and you want to be able to move it, you're going to have to think of a way that when we put the rigging on, that it stays in position. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. So I will put some glue just on the joints here and get this nice and stiff. And there we go. So that's all in place. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unravel around about just over, I'd say, 1 meter of this cotton. So you do need a fair bit. So I think that's probably enough. And snip that off. Now, just to show you how this looks, this part here shouldn't be touching that bit. It should be upright just like that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a loop around the cog just at the bottom there. So best way to do that is tie the loop before it goes on, and then offer that to this, making sure that it goes over the whole thing. A couple more little bits. Excellent. So as you can see, this is now attached at the bottom. Just going to try double knotting that so that doesn't come out. This is really fiddly, so you can imagine just doing the crane, which is a challenge in itself, is going to set you up for when we actually do the rigging. So as you can see, we've got that on the spool at the bottom there. Now from this point here, this string is going to go over the reel that you can just see there, like that. Once we've done that, it's going to be feeding through this large opening that we've got on this section here. So if I put that in, tweezers will be your friend on this one. Pull that tight all the way, so you get an idea of how this is actually going to look. And there we go, as you can see. So it's coming up from the bottom, over this reel, under the big opening there of that section. From there, it's going to go over the top of the first channel up the top here. And then on its way back down again, it's going to go through this triangle just here from the back side. So we're going to be threading it through. As you can see, my tweezers there going through that side there. So I'll put that in. See how I'm holding the top there to stop that string moving? So there we go. So we've got it going over the top, under that section there, around the top, down the back, through this section here. As you can see, I'm holding it just there. So on the way down from this channel here, it's going to be going underneath the section where this wire went first time, so that we can put it under the reel and then thread it back up again. So I'll thread that wire through. I keep calling it a wire. It's not a wire. It's going to go through here. Very hard to film. I'm trying to show you every step that I do, so you can see everything I do. So can you see now? That's from the top. We've got two going down. They're both going through. If I keep that quite taut, that's opening just there. I'm going to wrap that round the next spring. Now I am going to be putting a spot of glue in my thing here, just to make sure that all of the points where I've put so far are nice and tight. Because now, as I said at the start, I don't intend on mine moving. If you do, you're going to have to continue without gluing this, and this string could go all over the place, but that is the risk you're going to take. So I'll put a little bit up here as well, and then that's going to lock that in. And I'm also going to put a bit on this reel here, where once again I've just locked that in. So that's what we're looking like so far. As you can see, this one's going to go on here, but this time it's going to go actually round the reel, and it's coming out the bottom of the reel. So I need to thread this through the bottom of the pulley here, like this. So it comes out that side. Put it through, but I do want it to go through this middle section again. So there we go. We got that here. Pull that through. So that is now what that's looking like. Once again, going to pass this underneath this section here, just like these ones here are. Trust me, tweezers are definitely your friend on this. Get that all the way through. And then go to the next point just at the top there. So now that's looking like that, wrapped around the top. Now to put that down, because this time we're going to be threading the pulley on. Now remember, the pulley goes this way round, because it's this section here, we're in shadow there, it's that section there that's going to hold the plane. So when we put it on, it's this section here which is going to be facing up, that section there that's going to be facing down. So because you do have an opening at the top there, what you can do is just open this up and make sure this sits right on the wheel section of this pulley, just there, and then close that together. Now once that's hanging off there, what we're going to do this time, rather than go back down, we're actually going to take this lead cable, cotton, and put it through that hole just at the end there, but from the back side. So it's going to go in from this side here, then come out the front, as you can see. So I'll pull that through, and I want to lift it to a position. We could always move this afterwards, but I want to loop probably around about that much of a loop, I reckon. I think that's pretty good there. And then once again, because we're already on top of this, we don't have to go through this section here. We're just going to follow the same routine that we did last time. So get this lined up. That means this is going to go into this opening here. I'll pull this nice and tight. Don't want it to get tangled. There you go. Pull that through. Making sure that this is over the top, which it is. And in a similar fashion to what we done last time, I'm just going to make sure that's tight, but I still want to keep that loop at the end. I'm going to be putting it around the reel, just like that. And I am going to put a little dot of glue just on that there. Put that in. Excellent. So if I just pull this down, that's what it's looking like at the moment. Pretty good. So once again, this is going to go on top of the reel like we've got it there. It's going to go underneath like we did for the last one. So we need to thread it into the little space that we've got under there. It's tiny, it is. So it comes out the other side. Perfect. And then once again, it's going to follow the same routine as we've done through that one. So I suppose you could just keep going with this now. I'm not going to put too many on there. Oops, let's pick that up. So once again, we're going to go, let's pull that down just a touch to keep that spaced out. There we go. See, my crane is still able to move just a little bit because I didn't put too much glue on it. Down there. Perfect. Make sure that's hanging down. And then following the same route that the last one took, not through the hole this time, through that open area there. And then finally, I think what I'm going to do, bring it back round. Once again, following the exact route this one's just taken. There you go, that looks good. And then this time I'm going to put another spot of glue in. I'm holding it tight, you see here, before I'd spot the glue, because it does keep all of these in tight to where they go. And there we go. So as you can see, this now lifts up and down, but it is tight on my one. Obviously we've got this at the top, which will hang down the other way like this, kind of like that, because that's going to hook the plane. And then we just need to tie this bit off just at the bottom like we did last time. But what they've done is they've just wrapped it round here, which I'm going to do the same, just about like that. And then once again, to keep all of that together, just a spot of glue. That's going to keep that together. Now I'm going to cut off the excess. I think that looks pretty cool. I'll show you up close in a second. Snip off the excess now. There we go. That's so far what we've got done with the crane. All we've got to do now is we've just got to put another piece over from the bottom of the pulley, which I'm just lining up now, to the top of the crane over this end here. I'm going to tie a knot around the top section here. Probably best to actually just tie the knot before I put that on. Get that round one of the points in here. There we go. And that's perfect. Rather than tie a complete knot, when I did the Orca build, I did find just put some glue on it. That'll keep that in place. And then we're going to tie this off just down the bottom of the crane here. So just rotating that round to where I want it. And they've pretty much tied theirs off just around this girder at the bottom here. I don't suppose it matters where you actually tie it off, but I will put mine where kind of they've put theirs in the pictures there. And then finally just tie a knot around this section here as well. So take it in there, pull that through. God, I should have been a surgeon. And then that can just tie there. And once again, just a dot of glue on that to keep that tight. I'm going to cut off the excess that I've got on this bit of string here. I'll cut off the extra that I've got on here. And there we go. That, as you can see, is the finished crane, which I think looks pretty good. That's how it's looking from that side. This hangs down on the loop, and that's another cane complete. Very, very hard to do, again, if these aren't fixed in. Now, as I was doing it, I only put spots of glue just on the side here, so as you can see, my crane does still go up and down, but it is limited by the tension of the cotton that I've put in there. But that's all ready to go into the Bismarck, and I hope that's made things a little bit more simpler than the instructions, because they are a little bit tricky to follow. So there you go. Now, I did one of these on a live stream, and yeah, it didn't turn out like this at all. So that's done, which means the last thing to do on the Bismarck is the rigging. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't got a clue how I'm going to tackle that, because it's almost 40 pages long. I think I'm going to do one bit of rigging a day. I was going to use my Easy Line rigging, as I said, but I've changed my mind, and I am going to use the cotton that comes with it, because most people are actually going to be using this cotton. And I want to show you the techniques of rigging with cotton rather than with elastic. But we'll see how that looks when it comes along. But I really do hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.